Hi, this is Kim Watson. Welcome to a midweek review. I just wanted to do a bit of technical analysis, share a bit of technical analysis on a few of the pairs here that we trade regularly. Looking at the euro dollar first then. And as you can see, and as you probably realize, we're sitting in this consolidation phase here. What I've noticed in this, watching the order books going through, and there seems every day there seems to be a build up of sell orders coming through later afternoon. They get eaten into in the mornings, and then it all disappears, rolls over again. And we've seen a sort of pattern of this. Likewise, as it's pulling down, we've got plenty of buy support at 113. Is certainly a decent, solid level of buy orders at the moment. So there's certainly the demand down this end, supply up the other end. So it's really in that sort of tight range. Probably helps and is probably good news that we're sitting in this relatively tighter range. And if you look at it on a monthly basis or weekly basis here, but monthly basis, you can see it's the last few months we have pretty much tied in there. Can we push up there? Well, yes. I mean, you thought that big bullish monthly candle from last month, we would have seen a continuation. Well, we've seen a minute continuation in the first week. And in fact, this week's put the higher high in of all of those, but it's hardly convincing at the moment. We really need to see price starting to move into that area. Maybe if we get a positive week and a close in there from a positive week, it's a long term since we've been in that area and closed up into that area. Well, then we may see a push through. Personally, I think we'll end up needing some data release to get this moving, and we haven't got much out this week. Particularly, we've got affecting the euro dollar, that is, or the dollar. We've really got leading into tomorrow the real key one. We're probably call retail sales. Retail sales, it's a bitty one. It's not a massive mover in general terms. So that's about it on Wednesday. Thursday, inflation figures, that's a bit more of a mover, and I think we might see a bit more volatility kicking around the market at 1:30 on Thursday, so that might just give it a bit more kicker. And then really from there, there's very little as we move through to the end of the week. The consumer sentiment, etc., real dud figures, really not pushing anything out. In terms of speakers, there have been speakers all week, and we really haven't seen much change in the rhetoric that's already going out there. So I think we need a good bit of news of one sort or another to kick this at the moment. Otherwise, the chances are, until those orders are completed one way or another, we're just going to be sitting here consolidating. Now, of course, the question is, which way would we go? It's too iffy for me at this point here. I've got a monthly pivot below us, which has got a reasonable probability of being hit. However, it's getting the month's going quite quickly. The probability drops on that as the month continues. Any shove up towards that 115 area could end that idea at all. But for now, if we break the lows of the 6, I'm possibly going to be looking to see if we can get a move down towards that monthly pivot. Otherwise, I just got to play what's there. At the moment, it's given us some good intraday moves, mostly. So there's opportunity to be had, but it's a tough call. Cable, not much different in a sense. I'm looking at this weekly picture here. You see the consolidation that we've got there on the weeklies. It had the divergence. It's had a bit of a reaction on the weeklies from the divergence. I'm not doing a lot at all at the moment. Just pretty much running in this sort of, let's say, consolidated phase, chopping along. Plenty of good trading days potential, but some weird old movements. Yes, again this morning we saw the push up this morning, strong push up, and then we've given it all back, and it actually gave more back than I would have expected. It actually broke through, and well, it's had a little bit of a rally this afternoon, but really odd price action here. With the Brexit sort of situation, the vote coming in June, we could see ourselves chopping along this sort of area for some time. I was wondering, technically, if we do start seeing a break of the trend line I've got on here, this wedge pattern may have its effect. In fact, let's just come back to that weekly. So you just sort of see that wedge pattern. We could just break out of that move around about down to that 135 area, perhaps 136. In fact, I've got some figures here I've just highlighted. Yes, at 137. And then we've got the monthly S2s below us. So there are some areas. I think as we move in towards June, as I said, we could be seeing a bit more uncertainty and possibly seeing the pound sold a little bit more then. Of course, it's all in the market at the moment, the ideas, the pros and the cons and everything else that sits with it. But the markets would get much more jittery as we move towards June. Okay, not a lot. Oh, actually, normally I haven't got a lot to say about the yen, but the Bank of Japan has sort of put the warners, they put their shaking their sabers. They don't have sabers, do they? The katana. They're just shaking their swords, and they're suggesting that they're going to actually be, say, manipulating, but they don't like the artificial strength in the yen that they're seeing. It's obviously not helping them with their inflation targets or anything else like this. And is that just that chance that it might start selling the yen effectively? So we could start seeing some bigger volatility. It may just be a rumor, or I say a rumor, but it may just be an ad hoc comment and nothing comes of it. They've tried it before more recently, it just didn't do anything, but we'll see. But for now, it has put this sort of, in fact, I think I can see it. I've got divergent, the RSI. Let's just go to RSI here. There's no divergence there, but it certainly put this sort of double bottom in there at the moment, and well, there is the potential for a bit of a move. Right, possibly back up into these prior lows, I should say, if you're looking for sort of targets. Okay, it is very aggressive, obviously, in a downward trending market and everything else, and it may be far too early. You may want to wait until it's a bit more of a confirmed move. Aussie dollar benefited from the week. It's just come back out of here. Look at the weekly picture. Benefited from commodity prices and oil picking back up a little bit here. It's still not totally convincing, although we could be pushing on it back towards that 0.80 level as a possibility of big consolidation on the weekly basis here. It really depends on how it addresses these prior highs to me, because if it cannot close above these levels, well, it's just weak. It'll possibly be a bit like cable and end up in the chop zone. So not a lot there. Sorry, I should have mentioned on the pound, we've got the Monetary Policy Committee meeting on Thursday. Well, I think of it, but there's no expectation for them to do anything, and it'll just be probably more of the same in terms of the rhetoric. Inflation just fractionally edged up a little bit, so there may be some comments regarding that. And finally, Canadian dollar benefited from the price of oil. I'm going to just flick the oil chart onto the dailies for a moment. You see we've been pushing up strongly in the oil, pushing back towards, there's a new forecast figure about 150, but what do the forecasters know? They always get it wrong. But at the moment, it's looking reasonably good for the Canadian dollar. I was looking at the charts earlier on. Some people suggesting there's a bit of divergence on the RSI. Certainly not. There's divergence on other indicators, not on the RSI though. The prior low there was the divergence candle on the 28th. It's or we commenced at 28th. It pushed up about 300 pips in between there. It's now continued down. So it's really, the RSI is just showing the continued weakness that we're currently in. But I did notice there was divergence on other indicators. However, at the moment, if oil's likely to continue pushing up, we could see the Canadian dollar continue this way. Big meeting this week with OPEC, so that may change things later on as we run through the week. Okay, and finally, I just wanted to remind you that we've released the Pivot Trader, which is a set of CDs, which are strategies trading pivots. Now, if you've not used pivots before, you can see how, if I take the pivots off here, you could have as many moving averages as you like over that. If you put the daily pivots on here, you can see this is the support, the resistance they're giving us. The levels are absolutely amazing. They worked. I mean, this week. If you just scroll through, you see time and time again where we found support resistance coming from these levels. They give us good exits, they give us good reversals, they give us good continuation moves. We have strategies for all. They give us trades on the 4-hour time frame, end of day time frame, and you can even swing trade using pivot. So plenty of opportunities there. Focus really been on the intraday, but as I say, can look at end of day as well for some of the moves that we're seeing from them on the bigger time frames. So that is available. Not only are the CDs available, but there's a specific website. I've mentioned this before. You may have read about it, but we've got the Pivot Trader website, which includes a members area where you can find all the stats. So you can sort of sit there and you can work out. You can see what the strategies are showing you. You can see what the stats are like for any occurrence happening. So it gives you a real sort of bit of confidence when you're trading it, and it's really what a lot of people are asking for is a bit of confidence. So hopefully this gives the confidence. We cover all the majors in terms of Forex, gold, oil, and the S&Ps included at the moment. We will be including more. Lots growing. It's very much a growing site. There are other things on there. As I say, there's obviously the strategies, the CDs, there's the webinars will be held, and of course the statistical analysis is there. Plus there's a forum. So when you log into the members area, there's a members forum where you can ask questions, etc. It's just a standard forum, but you can put questions, observations, etc. all in there. And as I say, we'll follow up with that. So just to remind you about that. So only a couple of weeks before we start on do the first webinar. So just a reminder, really. I'll put links on the end of this email for you, on the main email for this. And if you're not sure what pivots are, I've also put a little folder document together so we can so you can read about pivots and see what they are and get a bit of an understanding. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great one. Bye for now.